contours of our soul and beyond. There are some conversations we avoid because they're painful. Some because we don't know how to explain what we feel. And some because the world doesn't always understand what we've been through. This is one of those conversations. Losing a parent changes you. There's no way around it. It changes the way you see life, the way you carry yourself, and sometimes even the way other people see you. I want to talk about something that doesn't get said enough. Sometimes when you lose a parent, especially a father, people start treating you differently. Not always intentionally. Sometimes it just happens. They look at you with a different kind of sympathy. They assume you're more vulnerable. They assume you lost your direction. They assume that because the person who once stood beside you is gone, maybe you don't have the same strength anymore. And that assumption can hurt. Because losing a father did not mean you lost your backbone. It didn't mean you became weaker. It didn't mean you were no longer capable. If anything, losing someone who meant so much to you forced you to discover strength you never knew you had. People often see the loss, but they don't always see the growth that comes after. They see the sadness, they see the moments when you miss them, they see the days when the pain feels heavier than usual, but they don't see the mornings you had to get up and keep going. They don't see the responsibilities you had to take on. They don't see the moments where you had to encourage yourself because the person who used to encourage you wasn't there. They don't see the courage it takes to rebuild yourself while carrying a piece of your heart. A piece of your heart that feels missing. And that's the part people misunderstand. They think losing someone makes you less, but sometimes losing someone reveals more of who you are. My father's absence didn't erase what he gave me. The life lessons are still there. The values are still there. The family values are still there. The language is still there. The strength he helped build inside me is still there. The person can leave this world and still leave something behind that's very powerful. They can leave behind a foundation. And sometimes that foundation is the very thing that keeps you standing. I think people need to understand that grief and weakness are not the same thing. Someone can miss their father every single day and still be strong. Someone can have moments where they break down and still have a backbone. Someone can wish they had one more conversation, one more hug, one more piece of advice, and still be someone who can handle life. Being hurt does not mean you are helpless. Being emotional does not mean you are fragile. Missing someone does not mean you cannot move forward. To anyone who has lost a parent, I want you to remember this. Do not let anyone make you feel like your loss took away your power. Your story did not end when they left. Your strength did not leave them. You are allowed to grieve and still be strong. You are allowed to miss them and still build a life. You are allowed to carry the pain and still carry yourself. Because the truth is, some of the strongest people you will ever meet are the ones who had to learn how to stand after losing someone who helped them stand in the first place. So if people see your loss before they see your strength, let them. One day they'll understand. They'll understand that you didn't become weaker because you lost your father or someone else. You became stronger because you learned how to continue without them. And that strength, that backbone, it was always there. This has been one of the conversations we never have, but maybe it's the one we need to start having. Thank you for joining me today, and skål!